Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon on the East Coast. Hello, just wanted to say good morning and to talk about work stress to wellness. I'm here, I'm home at the moment, getting ready for my day. Got my little yoga outfit on, and I'm getting ready. So let's go ahead and talk about work and work wellness and what that should look like. So really, I wanted to talk today about work stress and what the different levels of work stress and wellness are. And then I also wanted to go into the differences between a job and a career. And then finally, talking about how to make crucial changes to protect your physical and mental health or wellness in the workforce, in the workplace. So, first of all, let's talk about work stress. Okay, so we've got these four levels of occupational wellness, which was what I originally had talked about. The four levels of occupational wellness. At level one, you're in a stressful environment and it's pretty hostile and you just feel really unappreciated and you feel really stressed out. I mean, it could be a whole range of things that are going on, but basically, it's a group of people that you work with that just make it really unwelcoming to be at. And then also, it could also be where you're not really even getting paid very well, whatever it is. It's just this whole situation where you're just like, I want out. So that's your level zero. I mean, scratch that. It's level one because you still have a job, I guess. You know what I mean? Level two is where you have a safe job, where it's like, okay, this has nothing to do with anything that I've ever wanted to do in my life, but it's safe. And for now, while I wait for that other job offer, I'll just stay here for now because it gives me a bit of salary. It could be like, working minimum wage, whatever it is, as needed, just to be safe or just to have something in the meantime. Yeah, so I would share one of my stories. I've had so many crazy safe jobs. um, when I graduated from college many years ago with my bachelor's, immediately I felt like I had to find something to do. I had to find some kind of work. So I took on a couple of jobs. I worked for a fast food restaurant, minimum wage, and then I also worked for like a department store or something. And so I did those two jobs together part time. And it was a social environment at least. I had a chance to meet people, talk to people, interact. But of course, I was still feeling that sense of, oh gosh, I graduated from college and here I am working whatever, part time, minimum wage. Until I found something else. I started teaching full time, but it took some time. It took definitely like 5 to 6 months before I could find something that was a little more connected to my education. Level three is where you find a nice work environment where people are really friendly and kind and everything, but you still know that it's not something that you feel very fulfilled with. So I would say a lot of people are in this situation, but I also would say people are also at the level one. So you're in a nice place, and it's hard to leave because it's safe. People are respectful, people are kind, and it's just something that you don't mind staying at. But you know that you feel destined for something else and that you want to do something more relevant to your life one day. But I think a whole lot of people do stay in the level three. And they have good reasons too. They've got kids, families to take care of, they've got kind coworkers. Really, I mean, at some point it's like, okay, that's what they're happy with. But then what I would want for people is the level four, where you're finding your ideal job, your ideal environment, you're living every day excited to go to work because you have something that fulfills you and helps others. And it's just this dream situation. And I say like a very small percentage of people have this, but it does exist. And so I encourage you to pursue it and think that through. So now I want to talk about the difference between a job and a career. So a job is something where you you go to it, and it's a task-based situation where you were hired to do something very specific, to fill a spot in something, and it could be for a fixed time period or whatever, but it's something that you feel, everything's very much prescribed for you. And then a career is a little bit more where you have, a certain number of years, maybe it could be on the job, and you've got promoted over time, and now you're doing something that's like very, I guess, much more expertise based, skills based, and a little more creative. You feel like you're able to advance, and you feel appreciated, and you feel a sense of fulfillment. So I would say that's more of a career situation. So you've got this level of training. It could be on the job, or it could be through outside, like education, whatever. And then you are able to get this opportunity that encourages and gives you energy and just builds based on your skills. So that's what I would say a career is. That's the difference. And so other than that, I want to talk about some of the abusive work patterns. These are like actually, really crucial to this webinar and this talk because of the fact that there's so much work stress going on out there. The particular work that I do is focused on women with chronic and autoimmune disease. Chronic disease can be so many things. It could be mental health related. It could be other types of health related. And basically, when your work is very stressful and you're burning out, it causes all kinds of stuff to happen to your body, whether you realize or acknowledge it or not. So even that sense of depression, that is something that's not good for the brain. That's not good for the body. It's not good for your life. It's not good for those around you. That sense of anxiety that you feel if you have a bully boss and, nothing's good enough, or you learn based on your mistakes. They give you this like deficit-based model of learning. I've been there. So yeah, those are some of the abusive situations that can hurt you. They can really affect your health. You can smile about it and power through and do all the things that you feel need to be done to like just survive in this workforce. But there are definitely battle scars that can take place. And so what I do with my wellness coaching business is to help you find those boundaries that you can start building in your life. So start to walk around with this protective shield around you. You can visualize that. You can meditate on that and do affirmations on that, where you have this shield of protection around yourself. So when you go to work, you don't let the abusive patterns affect you. And the good thing about abusive patterns is that they're patterns. So when someone is hurtful and harmful and you've worked with them over a period of time, you kind of get, in many cases, you can get an idea of what they're capable of so that you can protect yourself from it. So when it does happen, you're not necessarily going to be, taken by surprise. So just going in with that protective bubble and that feeling of like, okay, I'm ready to arm myself and protect myself, and it's going to bounce back off of me. It's just not even going to affect me. Just going in with that feeling before you go into that stressful environment or that harmful environment is beneficial. And also just focusing in with mindfulness exercises to think about how your body is reacting in the workforce. When you think about your work, where are you feeling tension? Where are you feeling pain in your body? And with visualization, just relaxing and breathing and removing some of that tension out of your body can be very helpful. But yeah, so that protective shield is one of the boundary practices that you can do to protect yourself in these stressful work situations. Another thing that you can do is just to um, draw the line, write notes, journal, and think about what it is that you are no longer willing to put up with, and just be very willing to act upon that. So maybe for the first time, you're going to actually tell your boss or whoever that I don't appreciate what you said to me the other day, and I don't appreciate this style of behavior. And guess what? When you address that and you pinpoint the problem and you look at them and you tell them what the problem is, you confront them, guess what? It makes them uncomfortable. It makes them feel like they sometimes they pretend they didn't even realize that they acted that way, but it breaks a pattern, and it makes a huge difference, and it puts something on them. It makes them feel like, oh gosh, I've done something wrong. So they actually will begin to respect you. So really thinking about putting your foot down to the universe, to your environment, and just saying, okay, I am no longer willing to put up with this behavior, this action, this way that this person speaks to me, and I'm actually going to say something about it. And that is one of the most wonderful and bravest things that you can do, because you're finally breaking a pattern of abuse that has been happening. And if you look back over the years, it could go all the way back to childhood, but think about times where you have experienced these behaviors over and over again, and it's highly likely that you have something that you can share where there's these patterns. So being able to finally break through those damaging patterns is amazing. It really does put you at a different level, and it will also just help you to move on to something else, onto the next challenge of life. And there will always be challenges in life. That's what life is for learning. It's an experience. And so those are my tips for today on work stress to wellness. Hopefully you will find your not only a nice environment where you feel protected and you enjoy working with the people and you feel like you're part of a family. That's a wonderful place to be. But I also wish for you that you will find your ideal job, your ideal situation, and your dream life. And that's what I encourage women to do, and that's what I do in my work. I help people to envision their dream life and get past unhealthy patterns of living. And also, I guide them through and give them accountability to get through each of those steps to reaching that ideal goal and life purpose. So it's really exciting, and it's a wonderful exercise, and it's a wonderful way to live. And so I envision and I wish that for you. And unless you don't want it, it is totally your choice. But I envision a world where women are living in lives of fulfillment, and they're helping others, because really, as we all know, when a woman is able to help others, it really, when a woman's doing well and healthy and she's capable, she's going to help others around her as well. So that's the power of women, and it's wonderful, and that's why I work with women. We are so capable of so many wonderful, amazing things, not only to help ourselves, but to help everybody around us. And so think about that in your occupational journey, your workforce journey, your career journey, and how you can be a light to others around you. Okay. All right. Have a good day.